Hello, YouTube! Happy Friday. Welcome back. I'm just chilling in the beach. Not really, but I wish. It's raining outside. And we're gonna keep vibing the codes. Good vibes. The other thing is, I deliberately abstained myself from opening and looking at the code that was generated out of the prompt 2 days ago. I did check out the end result though, and it's good, but it's not perfect. It has problems, but it's almost there, and I'll show you. Let me show you. This is not the mouse. This is the other mouse. One sec. Got a bunch of cables in here. There we go. You know what? I should pin you to the dock. If I'm going to use you all the time. There, you have been promoted. So it was scanner/test. That's what came out. Not bad at all. But notice that both labels, the one for sign in and sign in, are visible at all times. And my idea is that only one should be. As soon as you click on it and you start fetching data on the backend, you should switch one of the labels off, like toggle them on and off. Very common live wire behavior. I don't know why this is happening, but you can definitely log in. What was the admin example.com? Actually, let me try something. 12345 6 as a password. I want to see if the actual credentials fail. Yeah, it actually works. Did not try. Well, okay. So password was password. And this is the scanner area. Again, not bad. Not bad. Same. The only problem is there is no scanning. So you do that and it says scanning, nothing happens. So we're gonna have to go and check what is it doing, if anything at all. But yeah, you can click stop and it goes back to that. Goes back to this, which is by all means not bad. I'm definitely going to use this area. And you have a logout up here, which is good. And if you go to search product by name, again, something's going on with the Livewire. What's the command for this? The loading, wire loading, I think, is the thing you use to trigger these things, to show things when Livewire is grabbing things out of the background. So we'll have to troubleshoot that as well. And if I search by a product that is called test, I didn't hit enter, by the way. That happened on its own, and it actually works. It goes to the API, that is an actual record in the database, goes to the API, fetches the record, and it presents a really nice results area with the product name, SKU, stock, price. I like that. I like it. Kudos to that. That one works semi-perfectly, except for this loading thing over here. And if you click a product, this part doesn't work because it shows product not found. Don't know why. And the form is empty. The form is okay. Again, the layout of the form is perfectly fine. I can use that definitely. And we have the label problem here. Update product and then updating next to it. So Again, good effort, but not perfect. It has problems. And you have back navigation here as well. Boop. That's nice. That's nice. So that was the result of just making a really long prompt, putting it in Cloud Code, or Claudio, as I call him, and then say go. During the creation process, I did have to, you know, click yes, 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 review changes, yes, and yes, don't ask me again, and yes, yes, yes. Took about, I don't know, probably 5 minutes or something like that to get this out of the box. Web Jesus Christ, Webluz Multimedia. Hi there, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a great Friday. But yeah, this is completely vibe coded. I haven't touched the code. I haven't looked at the code. I am going to do that now. I'm going to. This is what I'm going to do. It's French. No wonder why I was butchering it. La poupou. I'm sorry. I'm a child. Uh, so this is my plan. Like I said, I restrained myself from looking at the code once it was generated. I want to do that on stream live and see what came out, right? I'm glad you're laughing. I was worried for a second. So I'm going to look at the code. I'm going to see what came out. I'm going to do an assessment of what's good, what's bad, and what could be improved. But I have a choice to make once I do that. My first instinct would be to just shove Claudio out of the way and say, "Stay back, I'll do it myself." That's what I want. My brain wants to take over. But that's not vibe coding. So instead, what I'm going to do is try and work out the problem with Claudio in a prompt session. See, and if I see that I'm not making progress and I'm start getting frustrated, I'll just, again, first option, shove him out of the way and saying, "I'll do it myself. God damn it."
The stream is now paused for ads.
But still, just getting this UI would have taken me quite some time compared to 5 minutes of yes, 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 yes. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'll be honest. Yesterday and today, I've been actually adding Claude MD files to all of my work projects. My coworker was like, "What the heck is this? What are you doing?" And I actually got a PR merge today at work using nothing but Claude Code. That was one instance where I said, "This is working." The other instance was I needed to create an SQL query for my boss to basically give him some reporting data. I suck at SQL. I usually have to go to my coworker and say, "Boss wants this. How do I? But how?" And ads are over. Go. Shoo. Shoo. Okay. Welcome back from the ads. So I was just talking about how I'm integrating vibe coding into my day-to-day work, and I actually got to use Claude for one PR at my work. I got one PR merged using nothing but Claude, like working out the new feature, checking out a new branch, committing the changes, making a pull request, and then merging everything from Claude, right? This is better when coworker? Yes, correct. Now, the second thing that I got to do that I actually suck at is creating SQL queries. My boss wanted a report and I needed a query for it, and usually takes me almost one morning just to get an SQL query that fulfills the requirements of the data that wants to be seen. Took me 5 minutes with Claude. I created an SQL query. It gave me exactly why are you being like this, OBS. One sec. It's crapping out. Oh, it's coming back. Nope. Come on, dude. Normalize. There you go. Okay. So I created an SQL query giving Claude nothing but the description of the three tables that I wanted to query and the data that I wanted out of the query. And I actually used my boss's description of what he wanted to see. And I told Claude, analyze these tables, figure out the relationships. This is what I want. Go. 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes later. It was like as instant. I got an SQL query. I grabbed the SQL query, put it in my console, ran it. Perfect. And I was so, it was a too good to be true moment that I saw, and I thought, this is too good. So I took that query and showed it to my coworker, who is an SQL expert, database administrator, and his reaction was, damn. And then I knew it was good. So yeah, I'm putting it to work. I'm integrating it into my day-to-day activities, and it's going good. So I'm excited. This is something new. This is something that makes my brain go brr. So I want to keep using it. I'm actually going to cancel Gemini subscription, my Gemini subscription, and just become a Claudio exclusive. You're good at SQL query? I'm not. I am not. And it's frustrating because I am constantly being asked for reporting data, and 6 out of 10 times I get it wrong. So I have to go back and reword the query and figure out what I'm doing wrong, and then give my boss another set of numbers, and those are almost there but still wrong, and this is a back and forth. So it's really unproductive when I get to do it. But hey, yeah, it's been good so far. Let's see what came out of the prompt that I used on Wednesday that gave me this UI, and figure out why the labels are not working, starting with the signing page. Let's see, go to this. Before I forget, I need to switch to, no, I'm actually at PHP 8.4 this time. Good. This is not the project I wanted. This is not the project you're looking for. Neither is this. How many projects do I have opened? That's it. Scanner, scanner, scanner. Here we go. All right. Usually, when I'm starting a new code base, the first thing I start with is, Laravel idea, generate helper code. Yes, please. The first place I go to when I'm looking at a new code base, especially with Laravel, is the routes, because the routes will tell you where the requests are being handled and by who. And then you just follow it from there and go deeper. So let's go to web. And we have, this is too small, hold on. Is it this? No, the other one. There you go. 150, that's good. That's a good size. So we have 4 routes. We have a login route, a home route, one for search, and one for product ID edit. Okay, we're good. It is using full page Livewire components from what I can see. These are being protected by auth token, which is a middleware. I wonder if it created a new middleware or if it's using, let me check. I don't think it did. Another thing that I need to do right now, right after I'm done with this code review, is go to, I'm gonna use Claude to create a new GitHub repo for this, and then create a new branch so that we can have checkpoints while we're working on the problem. You love Livewire and Filament? Me too! Me too! Let's see. App. No, it seems to be. Oh, it created a new service class. We're going to take a look at that. Livewire. Those are my components. HTTP, middleware. There is the middleware. Okay. So I think this looks good. The only thing that it's doing is if there is no authentication token in session, go back to the login route. That's all. The login is supposed to give you an auth token that comes from the backend, and you take that authentication token exchanged with your credentials and you put that in the session or local storage. We'll see how that is working. But for now, this is an actual new middleware, I think. Auth token middleware, and I'm guessing this was registered in app service provider. It wasn't. Is this part of if it's not there, it's in Bootstrap, correct. There it is. All right, so it's registering a new middleware called auth token, and the only thing that it's doing is checking the authentication token in session, and if it's not there, go back to the login page. All right, we're following along, which is good. All right, time to go and check the login page. We're going to start with this one. I specifically requested to not use Vault. I like my Livewire classes separate from the view. Something that I am going to change now that Livewire 4 is a thing. So I'm going to have to start using that mentality from here onward. But for now, let's work with just classes and views so that my mind still associates that with controller and view. So first thing I would do differently, I would probably create a form class for this so that I can do validation there, but this is totally fine. Email and password is a validation, validated as email and a string. We have an error. I don't know why you're doing this, but sure. We have a public function inventory API client. I am guessing Livewire 4 go with Vault Unified. Yep, basically all you have now is .vault.php. I think that was the new extension that we're going to have with Livewire 4. So this class is services. All right, so we have an API client service class injected into the login page. We do a validation. All right. Set loading to true. I don't know if we're gonna need loading. All I have to do is use livewire loading. So this is probably an action for the login button. So as long as we use livewire loading, we should be okay. We'll see the template in a second, but this is the action. So let's keep in our minds that loading probably not required. Validate, then we try, there's a try and catch, API client login. We're gonna see what this does in a moment. So I'm guessing this is what sends the request to the backend. And device name, just a string. We are getting a response out of this. A response, is it? Huh, interesting. Livewire 4, hell yeah. Response successful. If the response is successful, we grab the token from the response body. I'm guessing this is an HTTP response by the way that it's being used. We grab the token, we put it in session. It's not doing anything with local storage. I would like it to use local storage. We'll figure out how to do it. Probably doing it in with Alpine. We'll see. We're dispatching an event, auth token received. Yeah, this I am 100% sure that this event is being handled by Alpine.js, and it's putting that token in local storage. And then we redirect to home, and this navigate through is what is making our app a PWA. We grab an error, and that error is going to be in the label. Again, finally, loading false, probably not needed. We're using the components layouts app, not really a thing. We could get rid of that attribute because that is actually the default. If we have a layout file in components layouts, should be using that by default. We'll see what happens if we remove it. All right, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's go and check. Let me go and check the API client class real quick. Inventory API client. We got a construct. Setting the base URL. Good. This is the URL for the backend. The login function. Yeah, it's doing an HTTP post. Perfect. That's an HTTP client class from Laravel. To the base URL auth login, passing credentials, and just getting. This just returns an HTTP response, and the response body is what has the auth token. That's pretty much everything that I need. We have another few methods. I'm not gonna worry about those just yet. Actually, let's actually. Perfect. It's just doing HTTP with token. This is the nice thing about Laravel. Usually when you construct API calls and you have to pass an authorization token, you have to if you have ever worked with curl and PHP, it is a mess. You have to configure every single header in an array, and you have to be sure that those header names are correct and configure all of the curl settings one by one. Here, if you wanna send an authorization header with the request, you just do HTTP with token and then send a post, and then pass the URL and the body as an array. And Laravel turns that body into a JSON body and puts this into the headers and does all the things. Marvelous. I love HTTP. I love the HTTP client when I'm working with APIs. So that one looks pretty good. And search product by name. Does a post with the token. It's really not doing anything with the response. Whoever is dealing with the response is the one that has to understand what comes out of the API. That's fine. Creates a very testable class. By the way, this should have tests. And in fact, I think it does. We'll try it out later. All right. So that is the login class. Let's take a look at the login template. What is that? Login.blade.php. All right. Div, scanner app, sign in with PES4. Well, not this one. I don't think PES4 is being used here, but yeah, PES4 is a thing as well. And it looks awesome, especially with the browser testing. Oh my God, that was so cool. All right, so we have email address, we have that wire to email. That's fine. I don't see any Alpine. Wire submit, logging, perfect. We have an input with a class, autocomplete, yeah. We have the errors, if any, good. We have the password, that looks good. This is not doing anything. Why? Why is this wire loading remove not actually working? Is what I would do, but apparently it's not doing what it's supposed to because it's showing. Interesting. So this is what this is exactly what I was talking about. My hands want to take over. My brain is telling me, check the documentation, fix it right away, don't wait, just do it. But again, I'm trying to implement a different way of working that is not necessarily bad. It's just different. So what am I going to do instead? Now that I understand the structure and I see the code and I know what's happening behind the scenes, now I can go and say, hey, Claude, fix this for me. So let's do that. Here's scanner. All right, let's start with Claudio. All right. What should we do first? First, let's create a GitHub repo. All right. I'm gonna do it with Claude. So create a new GitHub repo for this project in https://github.com/mygithub. And call it scanner as well. Commit, ooh, that's 3 M's. Commit all current changes. Where did my text go? There it is. Current changes. Yeah, let's do that just for now. New repo, commit all the changes, and use first commit. Jesus. First commit as the commit message. All right, we have a local repo. Yes, and don't ask again about git commands, git add commands. So you usually have to do this the first time around. It will always, unless you tell it not to, it will always ask before doing things, which I like. So git commit, yep, that's good. Create a GitHub repository scanner. I like that we can use just GH for doing all this stuff. Usually I will first go to my GitHub repository, create a repository there, and then get all the commands and then do all the things. GH, you can do it all from the command line. Yes, and those don't ask again for GH repo create commands. Storyboarding. Done. Perfect. We have initialized a GitHub repository in your local scanner project. Stage all current changes, create initial commit with the message first commit, created GitHub repository, and then pushed all changes to the remote repository. Awesome. All right, now create a new branch to work on a few bug. Wait, no, I'm going to tell it differently. I tried. I don't remember what exactly I didn't like about Ghostly, but I felt like it was kind of getting in my way at some point. It's probably a me problem, but I'm really comfortable in with iTerm, so I haven't had any real reasons to switch other than it's Ghostly instead of iTerm. But I did try, at least. We have a bug in the login page. Create a new branch to work on this issue. For now, just create the branch and we'll work on the issue later. Is Cloud Pro. Actually, let me just check something real quick. Yeah, do that. Git checkout, don't ask again. I need to check what plan I'm using. How do you check your plan? Settings, model. It's actually model. Thank you. Yeah, I got it. I got there. Is Sonnet the... Which one is Sonnet? I only have one. Sonnet 4. That is the one above the free one, right? Sonnet 4. Weaker? Huh. I am paying for Pro. Well, shit. Hold on. Gotta check something then. Choo-choo. One sec. I'm gonna check this real quick. Okay. So check this out. One sec. I'm gonna stop. I need my second monitor to see chat because I'm not looking at that. So yeah, I'm in the Pro plan. I do have access to Opus 4.1, which was not a thing when I was in the free plan. Hi, Osetbek, how you doing? So does that mean that I can just switch to?
The stream is now paused for ads.
If I run upgrade, I can just. But what it? Max is not Pro. Pro is. I mean. Yeah, but not in Cloud Code because you would be able to ask it one question before you approach your limits. So I'm limited to Sonnet 4 in Claude. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why. So I would have to upgrade to Max to be able to use Claude Code with Opus 4.1. I'll tell you what, I have been able to work perfectly fine with Sonnet 4 so far. Have no complaints. So let's keep working. All right, let's. What was I doing? That. All right, ads are over. Thank you and welcome back. Great work, colors. Yeah, it's been great so far. I guess what I get with Pro is more bandwidth using Cloud Code, if I'm correct. Speaking of horses galloping, extended usage. Perfect. I'm happy with that. I've already created a branch in the previous interaction. You're currently on that branch and ready to work. Okay, cool. All right, let's start vibing. Looks like triple. Looks like the sign in button is showing both sign in and signing in at the same time. Can you fix this problem? I don't know why I treat it like a person. Just fix it. I should have switched to plan mode. I'll do it next time. Okay. I don't know if that's... Maybe it is. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I know. I just forgot. Yeah, no, I know. I just forgot. But thank you. Thank you very much. I didn't say hi to you, did I? How rude of me. Hi, FMI. How you doing? Hope you're having a great Friday. Thank you so much for the help. Yeah, go ahead and do that. We'll test it. I guess he'll test it. All right. Confirming the functionality works correctly. Well, it wasn't before. The button will toggle between signing in and signing in. Okay. Let's confirm. Nope. Still doing the thing. Doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. Watch building. I'm just okay. So it's part of a larger project. Last week and the week before that, and the week before that, I was trying out Filament version 4 for the first time, and I created a small admin panel for managing products and suppliers. Nothing too fancy, just to try out Filament. And as part of that, my goal was I'm gonna make an API backend on that project, and I'm gonna pair it with a mobile app that I can use to scan barcodes and modify products on my phone. My initial idea was to use native PHP, but QR code is not yet supported, so I had to drop that, and I'm going to do it all in a web app in a PWA. And also I decided to use Laravel Boost because it came out and I wanted to try it as well. So we're doing vibe coding with Laravel Boost, and we're vibe coding a scanner app to read barcodes out of products and modify their information. Still doing that shit. Why? Let's see if this works. I'm going to... Where is my... Really? One sec. I gotta grab something from my other monitor. Come on. On you go. Why? Why are you like this? Are you not? Okay. Mm. He doesn't want to. Okay, give me a sec. All right, now that's working. Also, I find it helpful to use Chrome DevTools to get the physical elements HTML. That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna grab. I want to see if a screenshot can be grabbed. I'm gonna capture this and see if I can paste it in here. It did work. All right, cool. The label is still showing both messages. Both the button is showing both labels actually. Whisking is whisking. I forgot to switch it to plan mode again. Never mind. Oh, now it's okay. Switch to gave up on Livewire completely and switched to the component's attribute loading. Interesting. Don't know if I like it, but let's allow it. See if it actually solves the problem. Actually, no. Fuck it. I want Livewire. I don't want to use a component property. I want to use Livewire. Check Livewire documentation about wire loading and figure out what's wrong. I know, funny, right? I have Laravel Boost, so Laravel Boost should allow. I don't know if it works with Livewire documentation as well. It does. Search the docs. That's what I wanted. Go and search the docs. Perfect. You're went back to the thing that it's not working. What the crap? Okay, I'm getting frustrated now. I have to be careful because it will try and take shortcuts. Yeah, I can see that. And yet, then look. Still not working. So I'm going to do something so that I don't have to reload every time. I'm going to come back here and do npm run dev. Still not doing it. No, it's actually a Laravel package. It's called Boost. It's basically a bunch of MCP servers that are tailored specifically to Laravel. It has close to 15 different tools, and one of those tools is actually allows the AI to have access to the latest documentation from Laravel and all the Laravel packages. So yeah, it's basically a bunch of MCP servers for Laravel. This is actually what pushed me over to start doing vibe coding. Yeah, but it's not doing it. It's not achieving what I want, which makes me want to go and check the documentation myself. So let me go and check the docs. We have wire submit, login. That's good. That's actually doing what it's supposed to. But this button, wire loading, is not working. I'm going to go and check why. Because it should. Technically, it should. More thinking. It's a trigger to force it to use more thinking tokens. I will read the documentation first and then see. It is supposed to do it. Maybe. Hey Hamad, how you doing? So glad to see you. How you doing? I hope you're having a great Friday, man. Livewire provides a simple yet extremely powerful syntax for controlling loading indicators. Wire loading. Adding wire loading to any element will hide it by default. Oh, okay, so I know what's happening. Well, removing elements. Alternatively, you can append wire loading remove for the inverse effect, showing an element by default and hiding it during requests to the server. So signing should be hidden while doing a request to the server. And wire loading should show, and signing in should show when doing a request. But it's not doing it. Why? We can also do toggling classes, removing classes, toggling attributes. I'm going to do this myself just for a moment. What if I use a div instead? No, it's still not doing it. This is so freaking weird. You use nvim? Nvim is cool. So that did nothing. And it's using wire loading attribute as well. By default, wire loading will be triggered whenever a component makes a request to the server. However, in components with multiple elements that can trigger several requests, yeah, you can just say target and target what request was called. I'm confused. Oh, OBS is doing the thing that it goes down and up, so there's going to be some hitches in the stream. And I apologize for that. Nothing to do with me. What is happening? Still there. God damn it. Why are you not working? I don't get it. Wire loading seems to be busted, and I don't know why. I've never ever had this issue before. And it's pissing me off. You shouldn't. I mean, you can, but if you don't scope it to the specific action, it will trigger the toggling of the attribute of the element whenever there is a request, any request. In this case, it's just one request. So if I click submit and it does the logging, when it goes to the logging method in the backend, it should toggle the attribute where wire loading is set according to the documentation. And it looks, hi, Laura. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I'll be having a great Friday. So if you do if you do wire loading, it should work. The documentation says so. It looks exactly like the documentation, wire loading, and it's not doing it. You're onto something, you know? You are onto something. But you know what? I don't think you have to do that anymore. Not with the current version of Livewire. That is injected automatically. The fuck is this? Livewire scripts? Huh. Maybe I do have to put it in. It's doing some stuff with Alpine.js. Oh, it's doing Alpine stuff on its own. Uh, why are you doing this? To work with the scanner. No, I don't want any of this. No, 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 no. First time being on my live stream, rewatching them, time some issues. I apologize for that, but yeah, this is the time. This is the time that works best for me, based on my time zone and my job schedule. So I'm sorry if it's a little difficult for you, but thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. You know what I'm going to do, Hamad? I don't want any of this crap here. I just wanted to import Bootstrap and import this in there because I have worked with this thing before. I don't need this crap, Alpine.js crap here. I will do it differently. So for now, even if the scanner doesn't work, I'm going to remove all of this. All of the Alpine shit. I don't want any of that. No. Is it doing anything with the event? Set token. I will do this myself as well. Limiting network to 3G. I don't think it's a speed problem, honestly. It's just that it's not doing what it's supposed to do from the documentation. And I think it has something to do with this, with the Alpine.js stuff that is trying to incorporate here. Maybe it's just interfering with Alpine.js that is already included. So I'm gonna do this. I'm just going to actually I'm gonna try something else. Let me go back to app.blade. You don't need to do this. You don't need to use Livewire scripts or Livewire styles in Livewire 3. That is automatically added for you. I think the fact that it's adding it here.
The stream is now paused for ads.
We're going to take a break. The fact that it's adding it there is conflicting somehow with the thing that Livewire is trying to do on its own. So I'm going to remove that line and then test it. If it doesn't work, I'll remove all of the code from the app.js. Just try attribute. I don't know what that is or what that means. We're just gonna wait on the ads so that people on Twitch can don't miss anything. 30 more seconds. Oh, and people on YouTube, if you didn't know, I also stream on Twitch simultaneously. The vibe is a little different over there because I'm playing music the whole time. So if you see me doing this, it's because on Twitch I'm listening to music, not on YouTube. If you like that kind of thing, you can jump over to Twitch and watch there. Link in the description. And give me a follow if you want to. All right, ads are over. Go away. All right, welcome back from the ads. You have removed wire loading. Remove. Yeah, I know. I am aware. I just want to see the thing that I did being removed when it's doing wire loading. If that works, then I'm going to go all the way back to the original implementation, which, by the way, should have worked from the beginning. I'm gonna do npm run dev again. still there. Mother fudger. It's gone. That was a thing. Sorry. That was it. It was adding the @sign liveware scripts to the layout, and you don't have to do that with liveware 3. If you do that, it actually breaks liveware functionality, like wire loading. And I'm actually going to go back to the view. Let's hide this. I'm going to undo. Oh, no, remove that. That one stays. Go to the login.blade and let me do this. Boop, 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 pop, pop. Wire loading. No, that's gone. And that should work. In fact, let's try it. There you go. And in fact, the other problems that we were having in the other pages, that is also fixed. And let's try it out. I'm going to turn this into a mobile app for a second. And let's do admin at example.com. Password is password. Don't say anything. Signing in, that works. Awesome. Is the scanner going to work now? Probably not. But I know how to make that work. Before I make any assumptions, before I do that, I am wondering if it's just, oh yeah, I disconnected my camera. That's the problem. Hold on, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna connect, I have a crappy camera on this side in my second monitor, but I unplugged that a while ago. So I'm gonna plug the camera and try it again. Be right back. Thank you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I muted before leaving and forgot to do unmute when I came back. Thank you for letting me know. And I hope you're having a great Saturday, I'm imagining, since you say morning. It's Friday evening for me. You can hear me right now, right? You can hear me now, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah, you're living in the future. Congratulations. All right, it's coming. Never mind the mess. Okay. Oh, my keyboard is at 20%. That is connected, yes. Does it work though? Yep. Hello. Hi, hello. I'm gonna keep the zoom at that because that's where the camera is going to be to read the code. You can see my green screen back there. Anywho, it works. Now that it's connected, let me try and do this. No, it's still not. Oh, wait. I think I know why. I think I may know why. Thirsty Pooch, how you doing? Happy Friday. I think it's because this needs HTTPS instead of HTTP. So let me fix that real quick. Stop it. Stop it. Scanner test. And secure. Great. All right, try that. HTTPS / scanner. All right. Start scanner. Allow this time. Allow while visiting this site. So it asks for permissions, which is a good sign. It says that it's using browser logs. What the heck? What is this? I don't know what that is. But it says that it is using the camera, but the camera is not showing up. So, sure. Okay. And it's doing this stuff. I don't know what that is. Boost browser logs. It's for Laravel Boost? Okay. Won't pay attention to it. So it kind of works, but almost. Let me take a look at that code from app resources JS. You too. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. And yep, you're awesome, dude. Have a great night. All right, so it's doing when Alpine init is when it's initializing Alpine JS, it's doing a local store get item auth token, setting up some data. Then we have an init to set the is authenticated variable. And then it's listening for auth token received, which is an event that we're firing from the login page to set the token into local storage. That all looks fine and dandy. Logout is looking good as well. All right, start scanner. Element ID on success on error. So this method is used by interesting. All right, getting sidetracked. Let's see if now that we have this working, let's see if Claude can solve it. Let's shift to plan mode first. There. When I click the what was it? Start scanner button. Actually, let me do something first. Let's start fresh, clear. So that we don't have any context, because I know that everything regarding the Livewire loading is fixed, so I don't care about that. Let's start fresh with no context. When I click the start scanner button, the browser requests for permission to use my camera, but the camera stream is never shown in the UI, even though it shows that the camera is being used. Browser locks. Nice. Don't ask again for Laravel Boost, Laravel browser locks. That is actually awesome. Fail to, oh, look at that. Jiggery pokering, what the fuck is Jesus Christ. What's your opinion on vibe coding? Can new developers thrive, or it need an experience to be able to review the code? Okay, here's my take on the vibe coding situation. I think that if you are going to use vibe coding, you definitely need at least some notion of what the code is doing behind the scenes. But if you are not experienced, you can use vibe coding twofold. You can use it to generate code. Don't use it on big applications. Use it on small projects to get the idea of how vibe coding feels and how vibe coding works for you. And when you do it on small projects, you get all of the code back. And if you don't understand what the code is doing, you can actually ask AI about what the code means. So use it not only as a building tool, but also as a learning tool. I always. Audio gone again? Really? Sounds good on my end. Is it okay now? Of late, I have been doing the heavy lifting. Mine is just review, and I am becoming lazy. Okay. So don't let it. Don't let it let you become lazy. Review the code. Always review the code. And if you're not understanding something, ask the AI. Paste the code that you don't understand into the prompt and ask, describe this code to me and what it does, as if I was I don't know, 5 years old or something like that. Ask the AI to describe the code and teach the code to you. Teach the code back to you. If you feel inclined, do what I did. Go to the source, go to the documentation. You saw that error right there. What is happening? What was happening was that AI was doing something that was outdated and not a common practice with Livewire, which was actually breaking Livewire. It took my understanding of Livewire to actually solve it without AI, which is a acceptable practice in vibe coding as well. Try to learn on your own too. Don't just rely on what the AI is doing and the code that is spitting out. Review the code, try to understand what is happening behind the scenes, and research yourself as well. Read the documentation. Documentation is key, is almost the most important part when you're learning. Always read the documentation. I knew that line was there, that line that was there was wrong, because I have read it in the documentation on the quick start. Let me see if I can find it. See, by default, Alpine and Livewire are loaded using the script Livewire.js tag, which means you have no control over the order in which these libraries are loaded. Consequently, importing and registering Alpine plugins. This is when you want to create Alpine plugins yourself. When you want to do that, you include those two tags. If you don't include them, Livewire does it for you. It wasn't like that on Livewire 2, but that changed on Livewire 3. So, not to get derailed, don't allow AI to make you lazy. Always stay on top of the code that comes out. Review your code, even though it was generated by AI. Always review your code. Understand what it's doing. If it's not something that you understand, research it. Ask AI. Read the documentation, and always claim ownership of your code. it is still your code and it has to be your code, because if it's not and you don't understand what the code is doing, then it's not your code anymore, and you are going to have a bad time supporting it. So claim ownership of your code even when vibe coding. That's my advice. Your your cat sat on the remote. Okay. So yeah, that's my advice. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to integrate vibe coding into my day-to-day activities, but I'm doing it very carefully, and I'm always trying to stay up to and on top of what AI is doing, because even though it does great things and it's very fast, it can make very basic mistakes that can break your application if you don't know what the code is doing and you have no understanding of what is going on behind the scenes. So use it to your advantage, use it to be faster, but don't let it be the whole thing. You are still in command. Yeah, no problem, dude. Always. All right. So, solution: fix the scanner visibility logic in home home.blade.php. Change xshow is scanning to xshow not is scanning to xshow is scanning for the video display area. Really? Well, maybe it. Wait, hold on. Oh no, that it is an exemplary. That is a very good example of something that it can do pretty well, because I suck at AI too. That AI that sped out, that is perfect. I would use that as is. I wouldn't change anything, maybe a few adjustments here and there, but that AI is perfect for me because I don't do AI. I not AI, UI, sorry. I don't do UI. UI for me is my nemesis. And if I have something that can create something that is visually appealing in minutes or less, I'm up for it. I am I'm a control freak when it comes to the code itself, but when it comes to the UI, just go nuts. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'll use it. I will audit it from time to time, but I saw the UI as it was, and I told myself, yeah, that's perfect. I would not change a thing. So where is the is scanning? So is scanning is here, and then this turns to true when the scanner is turned on. And if I go to login, the visibility of the scanner area is no, that's not here. That is in. I have to go back to web, don't I? I don't know the component. We're in a different component now. It'll be home, right? Yes. Actually, let me review. I haven't seen this code before. Let me review this first. So we have a search by barcode function that is using the inventory API client as well. Scan barcode, it's a property here. Yeah, that's good. We're still using the loading false. I'm going to ask him to remove this loading attribute from everywhere. Checking the session token. That's fine. And then doing a search. Go to search, log out, render. So it's nothing in the component itself. The component just handles the successful scanning of the barcode. Let's go to home, scanner area, barcode scanner. That is in app.js. Or is it? Hold on. No, it's got to be there. Let me look for that script. Here it is. So barcode scanner is just a function that returns a data structure for Alpine.js with is scanning equals false. And then it turns it true. And it uses Alpine start scanner. You know what I'm going to do? I already have a script for this that I know it works. I'm going to try that out. I know I'm cheating, but I had some research time with this, and I have a snippet that might work. So I'm going to try it. So QR start. So what it's doing is doing a configuration for the camera, and then it's doing the scanning start. This, I believe, is in the window, isn't it?
The stream is now
Small
paused
break.
for ads.
Welcome back. So instead of putting that code here, this code snippet, let me try and put it in this alpine.store. See what happens. Because it's slightly different than what it's doing over there. But I already tried that code once and it worked for me. So this scanning is true. Cameras. Okay, so from here on, I think, is what I want to do different. So I have this code snippet here. And this is the one that does start. So instead of calling it HTML QR code, I'm going to call it scanner, which is doing this scanner HTML QR code new, which is good. Scanning is true. I'm setting a config object, which is pretty much the same. If you see this FPS 10 QR box 250 by 250, and then I'm doing a start, but I'm passing first the facing mode environment, which is the thing that selects the back camera of your device or whatever default camera you have connected. In this case is my crappy camera over here. The config values, and this decoded text and decoded result. This is actually the onSuccess method. So if I go, let me go and see what is being passed in as onSuccess over there. So this is back in home, yes. Okay, so this is the onSuccess. It is only using decoded text as the parameter. So this onSuccess function is what is being called after the QR scanner has been successfully scanned. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to grab this whole thing from here. I'm going to replace it with onSuccess. And then go back here and replace this implementation with the code snippet that I already had. So it's kind of the same, but not really. So it's actually using two parameters. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but I'm going to keep it like that for now and then test it without it. Is the decoded text, which is what we get after scanning the barcode. And the decoded result is just an object, all right? I'm going to do a console log to see both. And then we call stop scanner. Set that this, that'll be scanning. Set that to false. And this is what worked for me when working on this. I'm dispatching an event in Livewire using the wire object, using this wire. This is what worked for me. And when I dispatch this, I am going to create another method that will actually handle this in the component. So let's try and do that before we begin. Barcode scanned. Let's go back to the home component. I'm going to create a method here, public function barcode scanned, and I'm going to take just the text, right? And then I'm going to use on from Livewire attributes, and I'm going to use barcode scanned. So this method here is going to be called whenever I dispatch the barcode scan event. And for now, I'm just going to do a DD with the text. And I know I stopped vibe coding 5 minutes ago, but this is me just working at my own pace and comfortably. One sec. So let's try this. On barcode scan, let me go back here. It's scanning response, dispatch that, pass the code, and then console log. Stop scanner, I have actually an implementation for this. It's going to wait for stop scanner. Where's stop scanner? In Alpine, okay. That'll be here. We go to stop scanner. I actually have code for this as well. I have a snippet for stopping. And instead of this, I actually want to use scanner. Because that's the scanner object that we are using in this context. And I just do if there is a scanner object and that scanner object says it's scanning. Actually, that's the same. So it's doing this scanner stop. It's doing an await here. Clear. No, this actually works. I don't need this. I think stop scanner works just fine. I'm going to leave it like that. All right. Just to be safe, I'm going to stop Vite and start it again. And I'm going to go back here, reload, and then click start scanner. It says that it's using it, but I don't see the element. Interesting. There's the video. Why is this not showing up? X show. Oh, that is why. I think that's what. Okay. So let's go back to vibe coding. That is the proposed. Now that we're back here and that I understand a little bit more what's happening, yeah, this makes sense. It's actually inverting the logic of is scanning. So it shows when is scanning is true instead of showing when it's not scanning. Add a placeholder that shows when not scanning, ensure proper element sizing, add proper error handling for camera access. And actually, I'm gonna go and do no keep planning. And one sec. I hit enter by mistake. Let's see what happens. It's on plan mode, so it's going to tell me what to do. Oh, did I keep? Okay, one sec. Oh yeah, I'm dumb. Forgot to remove the other code. All right, it's still showing me the same solution. Change that to is scanning to instead of not is scanning. Remove the dash border styling from the active scanner div. Okay. Apply proper styling for the camera view when scanning is active. Keep the placeholder styling separate. All right. Go for it. I will manually approve changes. Why is my thing flashing every time I'll fix that later. All right. So it removed the ID scanner from this div, which was the dashed ID, the dash div element. It's still in place. And then added another div right below it with an ID scanner that is showing when it's when a scanning is true. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Dilly dallying. All right. Let's see if that worked. Hey. Hey. Okay. So we have that working. Keep in mind that would actually be your phone's camera if you're working on a phone. So it actually detects your phone's camera or your device's camera. Let me stop it right here. So I'm gonna grab my phone and one sec. I'm gonna use my phone to create a barcode. I have a site that I use for this. There are plenty. I'm gonna go to, I'm just gonna look for barcode generator. Okay. Enter data. For the data, I'm going to use the barcode that I know the product has, which is basically just 1, 2, 3, 4, 567890. And just do that. Enter. No, not enter. And then show barcode. So I have this barcode. It's backwards, but it's basically there. So now I'm going to do start scanner. I'm going to show this to the camera. And it calls the method that I told him to. When the onSuccess event happens, I just call the method in my backend, and I just delete the value of the barcode that I just scanned. All right, we're off to the races. Now all I have to do is connect that method and then actually call the search method in the component. Let's go and do it. And that was in my component, home component. So instead of doing DD, I'm going to do this scan barcode equals text, and then call this search barcode. Interesting. Yeah, that's fine. Thing is, this method here takes in an inventory API client. I'm injecting it using app. I don't know if I like that though. If it was me, I would just have that as a property in my component. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. This works fine and probably will work fine. I will rework it using Claude and tell him to add that as a property of my component. But I'm going to try it right now. So if that happens, then this all is going to be executed. Let's give it a try. All right. Pull up the barcode again. Start scanner. And it kind of worked. Now we need to work on this part right here. Let me see the network. What happened there? It was supposed to do search product by barcode and get the response. Why did this not happen? All right, vibe coding time. We just need to figure out why is this showing here, and why, even though it is making a request to the backend, which by all means should work, the form is empty. But it's been 2 hours already. So we managed to solve a few problems with the UI. From logging to barcode, we now have a working barcode scanner that can take a barcode, scan it, and then send that value to the backend. Come on, take it, take it. So we're good. We're making progress. Now we have to figure out why is the search by barcode not working, or why is the form not using the data coming from the backend. So we're going to vibe code that on Monday. And right now, if you're on YouTube, first of all, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all the help and everyone who was watching. But the stream is going to end here for you. What I do is on the second half of the stream, I only stream on Twitch. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go play video games. If you want to hang out a little more, maybe a couple of hours more with me, jump over to Twitch. Link is in the description on the YouTube channel. And we will just hang out and play video games for the rest of the night. Yeah. If not, thank you so much. And I'll see you again on Monday. And we will continue vibe coding this app together. So, bye, YouTube. Bye.